What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Avowed and Hellblade, two noticeable, things that were missing from the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Now, this is not, by the way, like an attack on the showcase. Obviously, they had a theme, and I want to talk about that theme, right? Because it obviously means something for these two games. So right at the beginning of the showcase, they made sure to say, hey, these are games that are looking to come out in the next 12 months, in the next 1 year. And even at the very end, when they showed that graphic that just has so many games that, you have to kind of pause it and look through every single one, there's a lot. And at the bottom right, it says that all of them, again, they're games that are targeting the next year. And that's probably just, not necessarily like legal talk, but that's probably just talk where it's like, look, they're trying to come out in the next year. Maybe some of these slip. Maybe some of these are supposed to be May, June next year, and they slip to July. So that's 13 months, right? So that was the theme. And that was fine. I actually thought that was a solid theme to do for the showcase. It set expectations immediately. But then the one thing, again, to talk about these two games, it also kind of made apparent the games that weren't there, right? So any game that wasn't shown, immediately you have to think about and say, okay, well, why wasn't it shown? Now, some games are a lot more obvious why they wouldn't be there than others, right? We had debated and heard that like Perfect Dark and Fable weren't going to be there. Well, that makes a lot of sense now, right? The next year, there's a 0% chance those games would have come out in the next year. Then you have the other tier, which is Hellblade 2 and Avowed. And these are games that, and by the way, this is not, again, some like super negative video. I think these games are probably, well, Hellblade. I think Hellblade for sure is probably next fall. Now, of course, delays can push that, right? But I do think Hellblade would probably come out next fall. So just because it wasn't on the list and because they didn't show it, well, we actually did see it at the Game Awards, right? It hasn't been that long since we've seen it. Game looks great. I'm very, very excited. It's actually, one of my most anticipated Xbox, exclusives. So even though it missed the list, it missed, I would say, out of like a technicality, right? That it's like 15 months away, 16 months away. So it doesn't fit literally the 12-month, break that they wanted to do. Now, Avowed is different because Avowed again also had, kind of ebbs and flows. Is Avowed coming out next year? Now, right before the show, the Xbox Bethesda show today, Jason Schreier kind of chimed in to say, hey, the game had a couple reboots. There was a really big reboot of the game at the very end of 2020. I think a couple directors kind of got swapped out or whatever he said. So Avowed, not to say necessarily that it's in trouble, because I think he clarified the game's not in like, you don't have to like panic or anything, but the game's releasing later than a lot of people expected it to. That was kind of the theme of what Schreier said. So that's a game that also I would have, before today, I would have expected Avowed sometime next year. If it came out in the first half, I wouldn't have been all that surprised. If it came out the second half, I wouldn't have been all that surprised. Now, because again, it missed the show, the second half is the only half that it could release. But now at this point, because of what was said about the game, maybe it doesn't come out at all next year. So that, to me, that would be a big miss. That would be a big thing. And again, it's not to say that the show wasn't amazing or wasn't good or anything, however you want to judge the Xbox Bethesda show today. It was fine without, these two games being there. They would have helped. They would have made it even better than it already was. But it's just a case where, again, Hellblade, I think, I'm not worried about Hellblade's, status or anything. I'm really, I guess, not worried about either of them. I mean, when they come out, and I'll be ready to play it. I just, again, to what Schreier said, that it's going to come out later than when people thought. I guess I'm one of those people, right? I was one of those people that thought Avowed was pretty much next year, and that maybe won't happen. Again, we don't know for sure. All we can say is, well, for sure it's not coming out until July of 2023. But at this point, it's probably pushed even further. So let me know what you guys think. These are two of my most anticipated games for Xbox. So is this a big miss for you that they weren't at the show? Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on the next video.